The regular season is now in the books. Will the Patriots' playoff road take them to the Super Bowl? The Chargers are coming to town. Is that the best possible matchup for the Patriots? And is Drake Maye a slam dunk for the MVP? The Boston Globe Sports Report starts right now. Hello, everyone. Welcome to the Boston Globe Sports Report. Happy 2026. We are back in action now. We've got a terrific show for you today. ESPN Monday Night Football lead play-by-play voice Joe Buck is going to be by to talk about the NFL playoffs. Danielle Dubois will be by later with her fan takes. And I'm joined today by Patriots writer Nicole Yang. We're going to talk all NFL today. It is a playoff edition of the Boston Globe Sports Report. All right, Nicole, the season's over. The Patriots, they get the number 2 seed, 14-3 record. They wrap it up with a big 38-10 win over the Dolphins on Sunday. How do you feel about the Patriots, the way they're playing, how they're looking now entering the playoffs?
Yeah, I mean, the Patriots had a bit of a shaky start yesterday against the Dolphins, but they took care of business. They wrapped up the number 2 seed, and they welcomed back Will Campbell and Milton Williams. I think those two players returning are a big boost for the Patriots heading into the postseason, so I think they should have no reason to not feel confident.
Yeah, and I like the way that they've wrapped up the regular season here. They obviously had the tough loss to the Bills 4 weeks ago, but they bounced back with the win over the Ravens. Took care of business against the Jets, although I think Foxborough High School could beat the Jets, and then did it again with a big win over the Dolphins. So obviously heading in the right direction now. Only one loss in September. So the Patriots, and that game Sunday too, like the defense finally made a couple stops inside the red zone. They got some players back health-wise. Milton Williams is back. The running game is really impressive. So I do think that the Patriots, while they maybe hit a lull a few weeks ago around that Bills game, I think are starting to trend more positively as the playoffs are starting.
Yeah, after the game, Mike Vrabel sort of laid out what needs to happen to win in the postseason, which is have a presence in the ground game, which the Patriots did, win the turnover battle, which the Patriots did, be able to execute in end-of-half and end-of-game situations, which they ended up doing even though they had a blocked field goal, and have efficient quarterback play, which Drake Maye has certainly delivered. So I think it'll be a test for the Patriots to see if they can continue to execute on those things headed into the postseason, because obviously the competition gets stiffer, and that's been one of the biggest knocks against them this season, is that they just really haven't played any tough teams. You look at the quarterbacks they played in their past 2 games, Quinn Ewers, 7th-round rookie, and Brady Cook, undrafted rookie. So that's not exactly the same as some of the talent that could be ahead in the playoffs.
No question. Now, there was a big story last week, Nicole, where Stephon Diggs and Christian Barmore were both accused of violence against women. The NFL is allowing them to play right now. Their court dates are later in January and February. I don't want to minimize this story, but does it seem like it's still going to affect the Patriots moving forward? Does it seem like they maybe move past it a little bit?
I mean, without minimizing, like you said, the allegations, I think the Patriots are just trying to stick to football. And Mike Vrabel says he hasn't heard from the league as far as commissioner's exempt list or as far as any discipline. So I think until the formal arraignments happen, the Patriots won't really have an answer on their availabilities, and we'll just expect both Diggs and Barmore to be available. So I don't think it's going to be a lingering storyline unless there is a development in the actual criminal case. Yeah,
absolutely. And those arraignments are scheduled for Diggs. It's like the Friday of AFC Championship game, so I wouldn't be surprised if they got those moved back. Real quick, we've got 30 seconds. Give me one player on the Patriots you think could be an X factor in the playoffs.
I think Ramondre Stevenson has really ended his regular season on a high note. Yesterday, he had over 150 yards from scrimmage, and I know Travion Henderson has kind of taken a lot of the spotlight with his big playability, but Ramondre has really been able to show his prowess both as a rusher, pass catcher, pass protector, and I think he could end up looming large.
That's a great pick. I'm going with Robert Spillane, they should get back from an injury, and he should help shore up that run defense. Okay, real quick, going to move on to today's hot take. We're going to take a look again at the NFL playoff seeding. I know I've had a take like this before, but I truly believe it. The Patriots are better off being in the number 2 seed than number 1, which went to the Broncos. Yes, the bye would have been useful for getting guys healthy, and home field advantage is always a plus, but I think the bye can be counterproductive, taking a team out of its rhythm. The Patriots' only loss in September came after their bye week. Instead, getting the Chargers in the first round was as good of a draw as could be hoped for. and the Patriots will still get a home game in the second round if they make it that far. And most importantly, they get to avoid the 6th-seeded Buffalo Bills, the team I'm most afraid of, until the AFC Championship game. History says the number 1 seed is the clearest path to the Super Bowl, but I like the Patriots in the 2 spot. All right, coming up next, we've got more NFL playoff talk with Joe Buck from ESPN. Coming up next. Welcome back to the show, and we are really lucky to have a tremendous guest today to talk some football in the playoffs. We're going to bring in Joe Buck, the voice of ESPN's Monday Night Football. Joe, a real honor to have you here today. Before we get into the playoff talk, though, you recently, last month, won the Fort Frick Award for inductment into the Hall of Fame in 2026. What did getting that award mean for you?
It was stunning, and I was not expecting to get this award at this stage of my life. It's exciting for me because my mom's around and able to see this. I was there in 1987 when my dad went in, and to be able to go in now, and I can thank the Red Sox, I'm sure, to some degree, for helping present all these opportunities for me to make fun calls, historic calls. Anybody that would have been on the microphone would have won awards back then. Those games were so exciting.
That's tremendous. I mean, so well deserved, Joe. You've been an iconic voice, baseball, football, really all sports for the last 30 years. So congratulations on the award. Let's turn our attention now to football in the NFL, the reason why we're here today. The playoffs are starting this week. The field is set. Finally, we have the 14 teams. We know what the matchups are. Is this the kind of year, Joe, where you think there are kind of 2 obvious favorites to get to Santa Clara, or is it wide open to you?
To me, it's wide open. I don't know how you feel, but maybe because there's no Brady looming over it, there's no Mahomes looming over it, and there are a lot of hot teams that are coming in, we can all just kind of look at the entire field and make, I think, a case for pretty much any team to go all the way. I mean, I just did Seattle in San Francisco. It was exciting to watch that defense. I think that defense and the way they're playing football right now, having won 7 straight, is a bad sign for the rest of the NFC. To me, the AFC is the side that is as wide open. I guess more wide open than the other. Your New England Patriots, we got to see them recently. Drake Maye, I can make the strong case that he's the MVP in the National Football League. Obviously, him or Stafford. But that is a dangerous team. Good defense, electric offense, good head coach. But you can go down the list. I mean, Jacksonville, they've won 8 in a row. Houston's won 9 in a row. The usual suspects. Buffalo, is this the year they get over the hump? I mean, on and on and on. It just feels wide open to me.
Yeah, I couldn't agree more. And I think maybe it's because neither number 1 seed to me looks completely solid. I could see the Rams or the Niners going into Seattle and winning. And we've already seen Jacksonville go into Denver and take them down too. So I think both number 1 seeds are very good teams, but maybe ripe for an upset in the playoffs. You mentioned the Patriots. They played on Monday Night Football a month ago against the Giants. You got some time, I believe, with Mike Vrabel leading up to the game. What was your interaction with Vrabel like, and what's your impression of why he's been able to turn the team around this year?
I think we even got to it in the broadcast that I think Mike is really a head coach that demands accountability, but has done it in a way that's a little more, I don't want to say, I guess, player-friendly than Bill Belichick did over the years. Him waiting in the tunnel for every player to pass by him after games, I think is intentional, and a moment that he has with these players to let them know that he's with them and he's proud of the way that they play every week. I just think he's at a different stage of his life, of his career. He's been through it with Tennessee, and now he's back in the organization where he started as a player. I think he's done a tremendous job. And just like I said with regard to May, I mean, everybody's talked about it. You could easily say he's the coach of the year in the National Football League, second-year quarterback, a team that I think, as I said, can beat you a lot of different ways. So it's impressive to see what he's done. He's done it well. He's done it right. And there's every reason for every Patriot fan to think that this is a team that could win the whole thing.
Joe, we're going to end the interview now with three quick hitter questions, real hard hitting stuff here. What's more difficult for you, calling games on national television or raising 7-year-old twins?
Well, considering I have this on my eye from breaking up a fight between my two 7-year-old boys. I got a knee to the eye. I'll lean toward raising 7-year-old boys at the ripe young age of 56. Yeah, they just take me to the mat every damn day. Yeah, I've got two boys at home too, and they're not twins though. So your house must be madness at times. I can only imagine. It's a lot. That's tremendous, though. Joe, you're a huge music fan as well as a sports fan. What's like a can't-miss concert for you, or maybe the last big show you went to? Well, I'm going to say anything at Red Rocks. My wife, Michelle, grew up right there in Morrison, Colorado. So she used to run the stairs at Red Rocks for gym class. I saw Phoenix and Beck at Red Rocks the last time around. It was phenomenal. I mean, anything in that venue is must-see. So I'll just lean on the venue and say go to Red Rocks. That's awesome. That's on my bucket list. So you've now got to do it. Put it higher on my bucket list after you just gave that answer. All right, last one for me. You've been the voice of some iconic moments here in Boston sports. What's more memorable for you, calling the 2004 Red Sox run and breaking the curse, or the Patriots 28-3 over the Falcons in the Super Bowl? All due respect to Tom Brady and the Patriots, there was nothing like 2004. Because I think not only was there history in 86 years, and yes, Red Sox fans were throwing stuff at the TV when I was mentioning the curse of the Bambino and Buckner and all that other stuff. It's kind of part of the national story. You got to say it. I'm sorry. I'll give my sorries now. But I think because it followed the ALCS, which we got to do, and coming off the mat down 3-0, we all know the story. But that run through October of 2004 is nothing like I had ever seen before, or really since. I got to do the Cubs in 2016. That had history to it as well. But I think the 2004 ALCS through the World Series is probably number one in my career. No question. You might be the voice of Monday Night Football, but baseball is always going to be in your blood. Joe Buck, thank you so much for your time. This was a tremendous interview. Really appreciate your time. All right, coming up next, the playoff picture is set, but who can come out on top of the AFC? Nicole Yang and I will discuss. Welcome back to the show. And now, Nicole, for our segment, You Might Be Right. We got to talk more playoffs, of course. I got a pretty basic question for you this week. Who's going to represent the AFC in the Super Bowl come February?
I just think it's still really hard to count out the Bills. I know Josh Allen is dealing with a banged-up foot. I know the Bills haven't really looked themselves this season and have been reeling at points. But if you told anyone before the start of the year that Josh Allen would have a chance at the Super Bowl without facing Joe Burrow, Patrick Mahomes, and Lamar Jackson, I think you still have to sort of trust his odds. And he's probably the most talented quarterback remaining. And the Bills have playoff experience, unlike the rest of the field. So I think it's still hard to pick against them. Yeah, they have experienced choking in the playoffs.
The Bills are a really intriguing choice just because, as you said, Josh Allen is Superman. He's the best. Probably him and Drake Maye, probably the best two quarterbacks still alive in the playoffs. And if anyone can single-handedly take their team to the Super Bowl, it does feel like Josh Allen could do it. Only thing is, I don't love where they're at as the 6th seed. It means they have to win 3 straight games on the road against playoff quality teams to get to the Super Bowl. And the Bills just haven't looked like that kind of team this year that could put that run together. They've been very inconsistent. They don't have great weapons other than Josh Allen and James Cook. And Allen's dealing with that ankle injury that has hampered him the last few weeks. So I don't know about the Bills. If they got to play a home game, I would like their chances a lot more. And I definitely don't like them if they have to come to Foxborough. That's the one team I wouldn't want to see in Foxborough if I'm the Patriots. But I just don't know about the Bills. The team I do like, and I can't believe I'm saying this, is the Jacksonville Jaguars. I love where the Jacksonville Jaguars are at right now. They're very healthy, one of the healthiest teams in the league all season. Their offensive line and defensive line have been phenomenal. They're running the ball well. Trevor Lawrence is playing great. They force a bunch of turnovers. Their coach talks trash to other coaches. Like, the Jags are nasty, and I feel like a lot of people aren't paying attention to them. They, to me, look like a real contender.
Yeah, you always have to consider, Massachusetts native and UMass grad Liam Cohen. So I think that's what makes this AFC field so compelling, is that there isn't a clear favorite and that it does seem as wide open as it's been in recent years. You could probably make a case for every team remaining. The Patriots, obviously, with Drake Maye and Mike Vrabel, but Houston has an elite defense. Maybe Aaron Rodgers can turn back the clock. And we haven't even mentioned the top-seeded Broncos. So I think it's going to be a really interesting next few weeks.
Yeah, what you just said there is, I think, a great point. We haven't really talked much about the Broncos, and I feel like for a number one seed, they are not getting a whole lot of attention right now. Maybe it's because of Bo Nix. People don't take that offense seriously, but the Broncos, their defense is really nasty. They led the league with 68 sacks. And then obviously they have a tremendous home field advantage throughout the playoffs. I think the Patriots went 0-3 there in the playoffs during the Brady Belichick years. So the Broncos, the Patriots, I think, have as good a case of anyone. I think to your point, it is wide open, and that's what's going to make the AFC playoffs so fun. All right, moving on now for today's Slam Dunk. We're going to wade back into the NFL MVP discussion. And I've got a message for Patriots fans. It's no slam dunk that Drake Maye is going to win the award this year. You don't have to tell me why he deserves it. His historically great passing stats, the 10-win turnaround from last year, and the fact that Drake doesn't have any Pro Bowl teammates on offense. But not every voter thinks like a New Englander, and Matthew Stafford also makes a strong case for MVP. He led the NFL in passing yards and touchdowns by a wide margin. He played a harder schedule than Drake Maye did, and Stafford is the sentimental candidate as a potential first-time winner at age 37. I'm just saying the voters are human, and don't be shocked if they ultimately lean towards Matthew Stafford. All right, now moving on to breaking it down. Nicole, let's go back to the playoff game this Sunday night in Foxborough. Let's talk about the Chargers. You've started to look into them. First time the Patriots are going to be seeing them this year. What to you stands out about the Chargers and the team that's coming to Foxborough?
Yeah, when talking to the players in the locker room after yesterday's game, everyone mentioned the quarterback. They said they said that the Chargers have an amazing quarterback. So I think you have to start with Justin Herbert. But obviously he's banged up this year. He had to undergo surgery for a fracture in his non-throwing hand. And he's been pressured a ton because they're missing their two starting tackles. So the O-line is banged up. And I think that that's sort of where you have to begin with the Chargers.
Yeah, their injuries have been devastating all year. They've lost 2/5 of their offensive line, including their standout left tackle. Justin Herbert's playing with a broken bone in his left hand. They just have injuries up and down the roster. When I look at the AFC playoff field, I said, they weren't going to get the Steelers. The Steelers are the team that I think everyone should want to play. But after that, I think the Chargers are the best matchup for the Patriots, given that they're banged up, and I just don't think they're that great of a team. Am I underselling the Chargers? Am I looking past them, you think?
I think what's working in the Chargers' favor is that the Patriots don't necessarily have the most formidable pass rush. I think that's been an area of weakness for them this season. And also what's working in the Chargers' favor outside of Herbert is that they have a really reliable and accurate kicker in Cameron Dicker. And I think that becomes heightened in the playoffs. The kickers, we saw last night, the kickers' ability to come up in the clutch. So I think between that and then also the experience they have with Jim Harbaugh, there's still going to be a really tough out.
Yeah, and this is a team that's built for ground and pound. They have a lot of size on the offensive line. They run the ball. They play defense. And it's going to be cold in Foxborough on Sunday. But right now the early forecast says high 20s, maybe even low 30s. So it's not going to be one of those bitter cold nights. So the Patriots are definitely going to have to bring their A game to beat the Chargers. All right, coming back next after the break, Danielle Dubois will be by. We'll get some hot takes from the fans at Gillette Stadium. Welcome back to the show. And Nicole, now we're going to bring in our friend Danielle Dubois for our segment, Wicked Loud. Danielle, you're always getting those hot takes from the fans. What'd you get this week?
That's right. Last regular season game at Gillette Stadium. So boy, was it fun. We're going to start off with Dan in a Super Bowl prediction.
We're going to the Super Bowl. That's my hot take. We're going to play the Panthers.
Pats, Panthers. Could we see it happening, Nicole?
The take didn't start off that hot, and then it ended really hot. So he had me in the first half. I don't know really about the Panthers. But I think, sort of to what we discussed earlier, the Patriots have as good of a shot as anybody in the AFC to make it to the Super Bowl. The NFC field, however, I think is a little bit stiffer for the Panthers to make a run.
Yeah, that Panthers pick was extra spicy. I don't know about the Patriots, but what's cool is there are so many different options for the Patriots to have like a rematch Super Bowl. They could play the Rams, the Eagles, the Panthers, the Seahawks. I think only the Niners and the Packers. So there's all these different opportunities for Super Bowl rematches if the Patriots can make it.
Lots of old friends that the Patriots could face. Our second Wicked Loud comes with Bruce and a little bit of Patriots playoffs conversation.
Patriots playoffs, who's the most concerning team that we could face?
We can only beat ourselves. We can't worry about everybody else.
The only thing beating the Patriots is the Patriots. Do you agree or disagree, Ben?
I don't quite agree because I think at this point in the playoffs, there are some pretty good teams. If they go out to Denver and lose, probably not because the Patriots just beat themselves. I mean, we'll have to see how the games unfold. Maybe the Patriots do fumble the game away like they did against the Steelers in Week 3. But at this point in the season, when you lose in the playoffs, it's not because you had a bad day necessarily. It's because the other team probably made you had a bad day.
Yeah, to Bruce's point, I see what he's saying with like the importance of the turnover battle, and the Patriots have done a good job with not really turning the ball over that much in this stretch. But I think given where the Patriots are in their rebuild and in Mike Vrabel's tenure, it's just year one. So I think if they do get beat, I agree with Ben, it's probably because they were outplayed by another team.
And I'm saying like if they make it to the second round of the playoffs, they'll probably face the Jaguars. That is going to be a difficult matchup for the Patriots. I don't like that matchup against the Jaguars. All right, Danielle, thank you very much for your time here. All right, let's finish the show with our Hail Marys. Nicole, why don't you go first?
So I know that the Seahawks don't have a game this weekend because they're the number 1 seed, but I think no matter what happens, I think that Sam Darnold will win a playoff game against whoever they face.
That would be a nice redemption for him after losing that game with the Vikings last year. My Hail Mary is pretty simple. I think Josh Allen and the Bills are going down this weekend in Jacksonville. I think the Jaguars are going to take care of business in Florida, and the Bills' season is going to be ending early. Patriots fans can rejoice. No Josh Allen left in the playoffs. All right, that's going to do it for Nicole Yang. Thank you, Danielle Dubois. Thank you, Joe Buck. I'm Ben Volen. We'll catch you next time on the Boston Globe Sports Report.